So, hi guys. So this is a video series of Java real-time tools. So what are the tools that we are going to discuss in this video series? Is first we are going to understand the first tool called Maven. Okay. So next tool is Gradle. So after that we are going to understand. So what is JUnit with Mockito? Next, what is Git and GitHub? Like we are going to work with like git bash along with how to push the code in eclipse IDE also. And the next one here is log4j. Okay, so first we are going to understand what is loggers, then after that what is slf4j and what is log4j. So what is the difference between these two things? Okay, so we are going to understand in detail. Then after that, so the next tool here is Docker and Jenkins. Okay, so what I want to convey to you people here is so these Docker and Jenkins doesn't come under Java real-time tools, because these are the things which are used in DevOps concepts here, like deployment and operations team. Okay, so they will be using this Docker and Jenkins, but as a developer you should have idea like what is Docker and what is Jenkins. Okay, so that's the reason I have included this Docker and Jenkins also in this video series here. So now let's get started to our first tool called Maven tool. Okay, so what is a Maven tool? Okay, so now Maven is a build tool. Okay, Maven is a build tool which is developed by whom? Which is developed by Apache Foundation. Okay, Maven is a build tool which is developed by Apache Foundation. But before going into build tool, okay, so now what I want to tell to you people here is, first when we write a .java class, what happens that .java class, that .java class will be compiled internally into dot class. Okay, so a dot class file will be generated. Then after that what we will be doing, we will be writing java c command, right? By using java c command, by using file name .java, okay, we will be compiling our application, okay, our program, by using this command. After that what we will be doing, we will be executing our Java application using the command called Java. Okay, so file name here is, so what is our program name here? Okay, so what is the things that are used, okay, before the Maven tool was introduced? Okay, now first before Maven tool was introduced, okay, so whenever if any programmer wants to develop any one particular application, okay, so what he has to do here is he has to download the jars. Okay, he has to download the jars and he has to add those jars manually to the build path here. Okay, so that means he has to download the jars from the internet and he has to add the jars manually to the build path of the project. For example, if he is working on Spring and Hibernate project, if the Hibernate is consist of 10 jars, okay, he has to download 10 jars. If the Spring is consisting of 100 jars, then he has to download 100 jars here. Example, but in real time, there won't be 100 jars for Spring and 10 jars for Hibernate, like that. Take one simple example here. Okay, but this time when Maven tool was introduced, there is a concept, that means there is a name has been introduced. Okay, so what is the term called? The term called here is a repository. What is a repository? Repository means a collection of jars. Okay, that means it is a place where a collection of jars will be arranged. Okay, arranged in a proper order. For example, let us take our kitchen. Okay, in our home we will be having kitchen, right? In kitchen, how we will be arranging the things in a proper order. In the same way, in the repository also, okay, a collection of jars will be arranged in a proper order is called a repository. Okay, next, what is a jar? Jar stands for what? Jar stands for Java archive. Okay, jar stands for Java archive. What jar contains of? Jar contains of a set of dot class files. Okay, it contains of what? A set of dot class files. These set of dot class files will be packed into a, okay, into a package, and that is converted into a jar, here. Okay, so what happens when we use these things? Okay, so when the jar is used, okay, we will be deploying our application in the server. Okay, like if you are working on Spring Boot, directly Spring Boot, by using .jar file, we will be deploying our application. No sir, I am not using Spring Boot. Okay, so we will be having another thing called var here. What is var stands for? Var stands for WebArchie type here. Okay, so what this var consists of? So this is a web application. Generally it consists of .class files along with some UI, that means UI, some JSP pages along with some properties files here. Okay, next EAR. So what EAR stands for? EAR stands for Enterprise Archive. Okay, that means it consists of what? .class files along with some EJB components here. Okay, so what is a thing? EJB is a technology which is used to develop what? Enterprise application here. Okay, but whenever we are developing a application using the Maven build tool, Maven will ask us, hey programmer, okay, in which format you want to, okay, you want to pack the jar? Like you want to pack the jar in jar style, you want to pack the jar in var style, or you want to pack the jar in er style? Like that Maven will be asking us, programmer, please tell me in which format you want to, okay, you want to pack the jar. Okay, when your application got created, that means when your programming development has been done, okay, when you are about to deploy, in which format you want to do? Okay, so Maven will ask us. Okay, next, to communicate, okay, so to communicate with m1 repository, okay, there is a one file is available. Okay, so which will be generated automatically when we deploy or build the application. What is that file here? Okay, so that file here is, okay, so that file here is .m2 folder. Okay, so assume .m2 folder, that is a file. But to communicate with m1 repository, okay, so there is a file which will be generated. Okay, so which will be auto generated means what? Something like .m2 folder. Okay, so .m2 folder. So when we are trying to build or deploy the application here, now assume guys, okay, now assume, okay, so he is a developer, and this is a m1 repository, and this is a jars database. Now what this developer wants to do here is, he want to download the jars from m1 repository. He wants only hibernate jars. Okay, okay, so he will be asking m1 repository, hey m1, please provide me hibernate jars. Okay, m1 will provide. He wants to add spring jars. Hey m1 repository, please provide me spring jars. Okay, m1 repository will be providing spring jars. Okay, so this is the thing. If the Maven tool is existed, if the Maven tool is not existed, then what programmer has to do? He will download the jars manually, and he will add those jars to the build path. Okay, he will download the jars manually, and he will add those jars to the build path here. Okay, so this is a thing. What is that? That means a difference between Maven versus Maven build tool versus without Maven build tool here. Okay, next, what is pom.xml? Okay, so pom.xml stands for project object model.